Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Community Nostalgia here, and today I want to make a short video guide for people to get started on Sandstorm. Now, this isn't going to be a setup guide. Jonathan Greenway has already made those guides, and he's done an outstanding job. I recommend you check those out. I'll have them in the description for you. But to start this video off, I want to take you guys to the Sandstorm control panel. This thing's going to be your best friend. And right over here, you can see we've got a nice map. It shows all the different zones and whatnot. And let's say you want to find out where a mob is located. That's pretty easy because they're all here in live time. Real time, rather. That's me right there. And this is the Battle Bones walking around. You get the idea. But this is really nice. Let's say you want to find an NPC. We'll search for him by name. But real quick, let me show you. You've got your update section. You've got the new Discord server right here. This isn't the older one for Sandstorm, or EQOA EMU. It's the Sandstorm one. Let's hop in real quick. Log in. And I want to show you guys how you can look for certain mobs. Let's say we want to look for Tack. Pretty simple. You just put in Tack, go to Tack Frostbiter, and it'll show you over here where he is. There's a little circle of that. But then you can hit the map, and it'll take you directly to where he is. He's in one of these igloos. I'm not sure exactly which one. But let's say you're coming from Hollis. You would follow the river down and get down into the igloos. Real simple. You know, there's nothing to it. Very basic stuff. Now you can also go to connections over here and scroll down to your character's name, and it's going to show you which region you're in as well as the generic loot. So this is going to give you a list of the loot for that zone, and it's going to show you the percentage of drop rate, I believe. There it is, drop rate 40. So yeah, pretty simple to use this tool. Nothing to it really. Very basic, but you're also going to want to use this. This is EQA Forum Motion that Ronson put together years ago. And it's going to tell you how to do all sorts of different quests here. You can see you've got your Werehunter stuff, your 1 through 20, your epic quests, etc. It's got maps for coach running. There's going to be a map in here that's going to help you to find which coach is connected to which. Because in order to travel in this game, you have to sign ledgers at each coachman. And once you do that, you can travel between the coachmen, but you can never hop from one point of the world to the other. You'll have to take the specific coaches in order, and there's a nice map there that'll help you. The resolution's pretty low, but you should be able to make out what is what. You've got your CM database here, which is for the EverQuest 1 fans. That's your alternate advancement system. You've got your class spell list, etc. So these are just things that are going to help you a lot with your questing and figuring out what's coming next. And then you've got this awesome map here as well. Okay, now, if you type in the chat HEP, it's going to give you a pet. See? Now, I want you to be careful about that because the wizard pet and the alchemist pet will use AoEs that'll get you wiped out. I've had it happen to me several times, and I think even the mage might be able to proc an AoE. You're going to want to watch out for that. I'm not certain about the mage. I seem to remember that, but maybe not. But yeah, that pet's going to help you. They only scale up to level 15. And some people might not like that, but I think the idea here is to just get people off the ground and running. And you really should be starting to group later on. People aren't really doing that on the server right now, but that's going to change over time. When there's more people, it'll be a lot more difficult to kill things. Like this guy right here, he's a red. Now, old school EQOA, you would never pull a red on your own because you're just going to get whooped. Unless you were, you're a high-level druid who can ensnare and whatnot. But I'm going to pull this guy just to show you real quick how easy it is for me to kill him on my own. Just run in a circle, and you can see he's going down pretty quick here. The portal pet had a taunt, and it pulled him. Oh, you got a mastery point. Awesome. So, yeah. Normally you wouldn't be able to do that for anything other than maybe a dark blue. A white would even be something that's white would be a little tough. So I should explain how the conning works. Like light blue is the lowest color of mob, the lowest level mob that you can get XP from. Then you've got dark blue, that's a step up from that. White is the same level as you. Then you have yellow, which is a higher level, and red, which means it's going to whoop your ass. Don't bother unless you're in a group, unless you're playing right now specifically during this time on Sandstorm. And I have to mention, these things are going to change. This server is a work in progress. It's a test server, and there will be wipes. Okay? Whoops, I meant to point. There will be wipes. And yeah, does that suck? Yeah, sure, it sucks, but it's not for a while. There's time-locked progression style things happening here. Now, if you're into TLP, that's kind of what this is right now. Things are rolling out slowly. Like, we can only get to level 35 at the time of this recording. That's going to be going up. So if you treat it like a time-locked progression server and something that you're going to carry with you, the knowledge, into when the game is officially launched, that's going to be the route to go. That way you won't really feel like you're wasting your time, because you're not. You're gaining experience IRL. You know what I mean? You're taking things with you that are going to help you on your journey when you really get started properly. Now, when I say it sucks that things are getting wiped, there's a con to it and there's a pro to it. The pro is that, well, everybody's going to be starting around the same level. So that's awesome. That's something that, you know, it just makes the game feel more lively. If the game were to launch and a bunch of us were already at endgame, then people are going to have a harder time getting groups and whatnot. There's another little trick. If you type Yoho, it's going to take you to Darver Manor. Okay? Now, once you get here, there's going to be a grocer right over here. You're going to come over to this guy, and the first thing you need to do is buy stuff from him. You're going to want dried beef. There's no cost right now. And you're going to want well water. No cost as well. And then you just come over here and sign this ledger real quick. I've already done so. So you're going to see how it's connecting to other places for me. Now once you do that, open this up. Go to your ability. Come up to return home. Because you want to go right back to where you came from. You've got quests you need to start working on. And those quests should carry you up to like level 8 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. But it takes a moment to return home. And the reason why they did that is they didn't want people using this to escape aggro or when they're getting killed. And they just want people to be cognizant of where they're returning home so that you don't do it in a silly spot and get whooped. Let's see, where's my spell? There it is. I like to keep all those things in order. Now, if you hit F4, if you're on version 1.6 of PCSX2, you can hit F4 and you can speed through the loading screens. Do not do that to run around the game. First of all, you're going to get disconnected. Second of all, it's against the rules. And this is your class mastery tab. In order to get this working, you're going to want to allocate a percentage of your points into your master class. And instead of getting normal XP, it'll go towards these points. And if you hit right one, it'll show you the different types: general, master class, class, archetype. But because I just started, there isn't really anything here yet. But these things are just going to be a way for you to advance in an alternate means. It's going to give you more stats. Eventually you'll get a master class, like say if you're a mage, you can choose to be a pyromancer with a fire pet, geomancer, hydromancer, or aeromancer, with all the different respective elements that do different things. Like hydro pets would heal you. Geo pet's going to be more tanky. Aeromancer is going to do more caster damage, and the fire pet's going to be more of a melee damage. Just to give you a general idea. So if you take into account all the master classes, there's a lot of classes in this game. There's a ton of variety, which is one of the reasons that I love it so much. There's a lot here. It's for such a simplistic game that's old school, you know, it doesn't have all the details of more modern MMOs. There's a lot for you to sink your teeth in here. I almost forgot to point out the different races and classes in the game. There's different bonuses for each one of these in terms of your master class later on, but really just hop in there with whatever you think looks cool. I should point out there is a bug where Ogre is not displaying some of the time. When you go to create a character, you'll have to back out, log in, and then back out and see if it pops up again. There's also a similar problem with the Alchemist class, which is a really awesome class. It's not showing up right now. It will if you hop in and out of the game to get it to show up. And it's pretty unique. The Alchemist class is pretty unique to EQOA, and I highly recommend you try it for that reason because, well, in most MMOs, that's a crafting profession. In this game, it's just a really kick-ass, potion-throwing, AoE damaging Chad, basically. And they can get some pretty good resistances. I seem to remember them being pretty tanky after a while. And yeah, they're just a lot of fun, man. They get Spirit of the Wolf, which buffs speed. They get invisibility. They get Ogre pills. Obviously, that turns you into an Ogre, buffs your stats. But all the different classes are pretty self-explanatory. It tells you everything that they do. So I'm not going to go through and bore you guys with that. But I'm going to go ahead and make a, let's see, make a gnome magician real quick. All this, again, self-explanatory. If you read it, it tells you what it all does. I'm going to go ahead and pump dexterity for now. These flashing stats, by the way, I can't remember exactly what the book called them. I think they were your power pool stats or something like that. But there's more of a modifier on them than these other ones. In other words, if you add to these, you're going to get more per point than you would out of these other ones. So let's go ahead and make this little dude. I'm going to try to name him Marbles. It's probably already taken, though. Now, you can use a controller for that, or you can plug in any USB keyboard. It should work. And because this is back in the day, character creation's pretty limited to what people are used to now. Name already taken. Alright, I'll tell you what. We're going to name him Marbles with a Z. How's that? There's no way they thought of that one. Marbles. Haha. I knew it. Alright, let's load in real quick. And you're going to start right in front of your guild master. Welcome to Click Ann. And Marbles, this will be your home while on Ternaria. As a new magician, you have been invited to join the Mechana Magical College. They are the Magicians Guild here in Click Ann. Then you are ready to move on to your first quest. Speak to Werlib Quackcook. He is the guild master standing before you. Alright, so you talk to this guy. He's going to give you a quest to go do some stuff. Basically, he wants you to find the tailor. Come back with the student's uniform. Now, I will say, starting in this game is very confusing. When you start in a starting city, especially if you're in Click Annan, or in Norrath, or Highborn, or Moradham, these places can be a little crazy. Let me just turn this off real quick. People were getting a little heated earlier. I don't want that to carry over into this. But yeah, when you start off, you're going to be very confused. There's no map for you to check, and like I said, there's a map that you can go to. It's not really going to help you navigate inside here too much. There are other maps, like I pointed out, that you can check out that'll have more detail of these places. But really, what I recommend you do is you just wander around in here and familiarize yourself with the environment. At first, it's going to be frustrating. That's just the way it is. But you'll remember certain key features. Things will stick out to you. Like you'll notice, oh, that thing's got a gold emblem on it. That's, I'm pretty sure this was the old bank until they moved it over here because people were having trouble getting in and out of it. And now the bankers are over here. And you'll notice that little gate right there. Once you see this, this is going to indicate to you that there's a bridge over there, which is going to take you out of this crazy place. So you'll just get familiarized with stuff like that. But look at this. This is going to be very confusing to you when you start. Don't let that overwhelm you. A lot of people, I think, quit these old school games because of that. They get overwhelmed. They're in a rush to go out and start playing the game, leveling up. EQA is not really like that. It's kind of a world that you want to live in. It's kind of like a second life. It's one of those things. And there's lots of secrets in EQOA. Secrets like, for example, the fact that this isn't actually a wall. You can walk right through it. And this is going to bring you to the Necromancer Guild, which is something that's very naughty for gnomes to be participating in, which is why they hid it behind this false wall. There's lots of little secrets like that that give the game more personality, make it a little bit more hardcore than your traditional MMO. So yeah, if you feel yourself getting frustrated about wandering around and the fact that it's difficult to find your way, just pump the brakes a little bit, man, and just try to enjoy the atmosphere and, like I said, live in that world. But yeah, that's about it for this video. It's pretty basic getting set up with EQOA. You know, you got your bank and whatnot. I don't think I really talked about that. You've got your Spirit Master. Let's see. You can find one pretty quick over here. There's like 30 of them. Spirit Master Savvy right over here. Oh, and when you go through buildings like this, your camera's going to want to kind of wig out. You're going to want to go into first person if you can help it, because that way it won't spin around like crazy. But these little guys right here, you talk to them and they'll bind you. For some reason she's not casting it right now. I don't know why, but usually she'll cast it and you'll be bound and good to go once you hit your return home spell to bring you there. That's something you're going to want to do depending on what quest you're at, what quest you're on rather, because different locations, travel it's a bit of a thing in this game, which is why you're going to want Spirit of the Wolf from druids to make you faster. We do not have mounts. Spirit of the Wolf is the way you get around quickly. Well, somewhat quickly, but yeah, you're going to be running around a lot, so you want to make use of the Spirit Masters. Another thing I want to point out to you is you're not going to start with a weapon. This is a game where you start with nothing, which is one of the things I always loved about it, because, well, you get that power creep, you know, you start to feel like a proper badass, and, well, things like tree snakes might kick your ass at first. Alright, but you will get a weapon eventually. And if you stick with it, before you know it, you'll be taking on big guys like this fella here. But, you know, if you happen to see one of these guys at a low level, I don't recommend you engage. But in due time, you'll be kicking their ass.
All right, then. I can conquer this mountain.
There's a lot of really cool things to kill here, but to start, you're just gonna have to kill stuff like this tree snake. So go into your abilities. You're gonna have some to start, and you don't have to purchase them right now. So that's a good thing, because Tunner's not in the game right now. You can trade with other players. We don't have auction working just yet, but we can trade. So go ahead and send a pet in to deal with that for you. Do I got a nuke here? Yeah, I got a nuke. Just throw that on there real quick. And if you happen to be a melee character, well, you should have a little bit better luck than I just did. But like I said, you're going to get whooped by these things at first, so try to find at least a yellow and approach it with caution. But that's about it for this video, guys. If you found it useful, please remember to hit that thumbs up. Get down in the comments section. It helps with the algorithm. If you're new here, I ask that you please subscribe. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.